Hi, I'm Urvashi and I'm very excited to welcome you to my home kitchen today. You and I are going to make a baked shrimp curry in the air fryer. This is a very simple dish. It's spicy, it's creamy, it's decadent, it comes together really fast. It's so simple. This is going to be your weeknight go-to shrimp dish. I promise you that. So stay and let's cook this together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our own garam masala. You guys, you listen to me. Do not buy this store-bought. The difference between store-bought and homemade is immense, and it's so simple. You'll see how this goes. So here's everything we're going to use. Now, every household has their own garam masala recipe. You happen to be in Urvashi's house, so you're going to make Urvashi's recipe. That's how it works. We are going to start with whole coriander seeds. You get some cumin in there. These are whole cloves, and I try not to eat these while I'm making them, but these are really, really delicious. You can use them for a whole bunch of puddings. You want a little bit of cinnamon. Now, some of you I know will write and say you're allergic to cinnamon. Can I leave it out? The answer is yes. Dried chilies. If you don't have these, you can use a little bit of cayenne pepper. Cardamom seeds. This is called decorticated. It's a complicated way of saying take the pods out and just use the seeds. It doesn't matter if it's white or green, just use the seeds from it. And then here's what you're going to do. You're going to take a clean coffee grinder, and you are going to understand that you will never again use this one for coffee, okay? Garam masala coffee, not so much. I've tried it. Ask me how I know this. Here's what you're going to do. Take your coriander, put it in. This is very complicated. You have to make sure you put everything in, basically. That's all you need to do. So it's actually not at all complicated. Break that. Put this in here. These, by the way, I forgot to mention these. These are bay leaves. And you just kind of crush them in and put them in. And then you put your cardamom in there. Then you move this dish away. Okay. Now, I'm going to look a little crazy as I do this. But trust me, this is how you want to do it. You're going to turn this on, and you're going to shake that coffee grinder up and down. I will do it, and then I'll explain why. And we're done. Here's why you shake it up and down. You want the spice from under the blades to come up to the top, and you want it rotating. Now, I want you to listen. When you do this, it's not just visually. Listen to it, and when it doesn't make a pop, pop, pop sound like popcorn popping, your garam masala is ready. See that smooth sound? Did you hear that smooth sound? That's what you need. Okay, now take this thing, turn it upside down, and then the technical term for what we're going to do is thump it. So thump this thing and thump it hard. Put a little energy into it. What you want is for all of it to release from the blades and get in here, and then very carefully take a whiff of this. This is so good. You guys, you will never be able to buy anything like this. Here's your garam masala. We're only going to use a little bit for this recipe, so you're going to have it for tons of other recipes because efficiency, that's why. Okay, we don't need this coffee grinder, and like I said, do not use it for coffee. Let's get the other ingredients ready. We are going to start with chopping up some onions. Now here's the beauty of this dish. You remember when I said it was really easy to make? A dish can be easy to make and then create like 6 dishes to wash. That's not so easy. So we're not going to be doing that nonsense. We're mixing everything in one. And can I tell you a secret? If you guys weren't here, I wouldn't even bother with this bowl. I would just mix in the cooking bowl because I know we're doing this for Food Network, but at home, I do the dishes. And I'm sure you do too. So we need to keep it very streamlined. All right, this onion, you can use white onion, you can use yellow. I would not use red. It's a little too harsh for this dish. You don't need to get crazy about chopping this onion, but remember, it's only going to cook for a little time in the air fryer. So what you don't want to do is have big honking pieces of onion in there, okay? It's just not going to cook in time. So excuse my non-chefy cutting. This is how moms cook. Let me tell you, I bet you watch your mom cut onion like this, right? All right, so I have some onion. You just need a rough chop. Put it in your bowl. So you put your onion in the bowl. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to mince up some garlic and some ginger, okay? The easiest way to do this is take the flat of your knife, press down hard. There, the shell comes straight out, okay? And because you're cooking at home, you can put as much or as little garlic as you like. We're going to do just a couple of cloves here, see what we get. And again, no need to get too fancy with the chopping. It's just going to add a little flavor into the coconut milk. Now, if you like a lot of garlic flavor, mince it really fine. The finer you mince garlic, the more garlic flavor you're going to get. If you don't like it too much, leave it in chips or in thin slices, okay? And then again, just kind of squish it. This is the technical term. Actually, I have changed my mind. I don't think I'm going to use this. You use how much you like, and the recipe will tell you how much to use. Next, we're going to do some ginger. And let me tell you something. I'm about to save you a lot of time because I know a lot of people spend hours peeling their ginger. You do not need to peel your ginger. That skin is very, very thin. It doesn't require peeling. It's just fussy and unnecessary in my opinion. I have a lot of opinions. I'm sure you can tell. But hey, all of them are going to save you time. So, you know, there we go. So what works for me is to cut it in coins first, which is just basically circles. And then you make matchsticks out of that. And then you cut it down, okay? You can repeat that with this. The last thing you want is like a big piece of ginger in your mouth as you're eating this. So make it fine-ish, but no need to go crazy. And again, if you want to use those tubes of ginger, I'm not going to be judging. God knows I've used them many times. All right, there we go. So here's your base of aromatics, basically. Now, we're going to get ready to put some good stuff in there. We're going to start with the Garam Masala. I'm doing this a little bit by feel, but you guys follow the recipe the first time. We're going to put a little bit of salt in here. Let's get some cayenne. If I showed you how much cayenne I really put in this, you guys would die. So I won't. I'll just show you a little bit. Oh, that's maybe even too much. What's going to happen is all of these spices are going to cook with the coconut milk. It's going to be delicious, you guys. It's going to be so delicious. You know, it's going to take me longer to explain this dish to you than it is for you to make it. That's how fast this is going to come together. Turmeric. Do not spill this turmeric on anything on your countertops unless you like yellow splotchy countertops. There we go. And that's it on the spices. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a can of full fat coconut milk. You guys, this is not the time to go low fat. There's hardly anything in this dish. You want that richness that's going to come from the fat, okay? Take the can and shake it. Otherwise the coconut cream settles to the top. And while that's delicious, that's not what you're going for today. Now this recipe doesn't use all of the coconut milk, but there are tons of recipes that you can make with the remainder of the coconut milk. Or if you were me, you would wait until nobody was looking and then you would drink it because it's actually delicious. All right, so we're going to kind of measure this out to, that looks about right. I have to tell you something. If you told someone you made curry and they watched you making it this way, they would laugh at you and they'd go, that's not curry. I want all you skeptics to hold your comments until you taste it because I know this is not how you traditionally make one, but people, this is why science is helpful. What's happening here is you're going to take all of this, mix it with the coconut milk, and you're going to put the shrimp in there. The shrimp by itself doesn't have a whole lot of fat. All right. So I had just poured the shrimp in here, but I just washed my hands. If you touch raw seafood, you just really want to be careful. Take a minute, wash your hands, get it done. Now, put some love into this, people. Get a spoon and mix this gently. Your shrimp needs to be totally submerged into the coconut milk, okay? Don't rush this. All of the flavor is in that coconut mixture. Okay, so you mix this up and then cover it up with something, with a lid, and let it marinate at room temperature for 30 minutes. It's going to be longer than 30 minutes before you're ready to cook. Be sure to put it in the refrigerator. But let me tell you, don't go too long because the coconut milk is kind of softening that shrimp and you don't want mealy shrimp, okay? And that's the beauty of this dish. It comes together fast. So go do something else for 30 minutes. If you were me, you would be playing video games. Do that, come back, you're going to be ready to cook. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. Our shrimp has been marinating. It's getting to know all the other ingredients in there. Now, here's the thing. You look at this dish and you see all the liquid in it and you think, how is she going to cook this in the air fryer? I don't understand how this works. Here's how this works. You need this. You need a 7-inch pan. Once you understand that you can put another pot inside the air fryer, a whole new world of cooking is going to open up to you. You're going to find so many recipes that you can just put in there. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to put your shrimp dish along with the liquid in here so that when the air fryer starts up, it starts to caramelize all of the deliciousness. Coconut milk, for example, has some sugar in it. Well, that heat from the top is going to caramelize it. It's going to make it so delicious, you won't believe it. So let's do this. Let's take this and put it in. Now, you want the last little bit of goodness in here. Don't let any of this coconut milk and this stuff go to waste. Spread it out a bit so that they all have an equal opportunity to get caramelized and cooking. And then you're just gonna put it in. You're good to go. Okay, so get your basket out. Now most air fryers are gonna have two components. They're gonna have this inner basket, this one, it's got holes at the bottom, and then it's gonna have this container underneath. Now in this case, we're not gonna be utilizing the holes as much. The holes just kind of help the hot air circulate a little bit. Put this back in. This dish is gonna go right inside the pan here. Got it? That's it. Now, for those of you who have never used an air fryer before and are not sure what all these buttons are about, it's not very complicated. If you have ever used an oven, you know you have to set time and you have to set temperature, right? Time and temperature, that's all you need to know. So let's go ahead and do that, okay? Turn it on. Make sure your temperature is as close to 375 as you can get. And then get this to about 10 minutes. Done, people. You're gonna come back in 10 minutes, your shrimp curry is gonna be ready. That sound tells you dinner's almost ready. Let's have a look at this. Now look, this thing is gonna be really hot. I want you guys to be extremely careful. So, here we go. And there you go. There's your shrimp. You look at it, all of it is very evenly cooked. You can mix it up. Oh, you guys, I wish you were here. This smells so delicious, I can't tell you. All right, we have one finishing touch, both for flavor as well as for color. We're gonna put in a little chopped cilantro in here. Let me move this guy over. One of the things I was really surprised when I came to this country, which was 35 years ago, I've been here a while, it was that people were throwing away cilantro stalks, and that made no sense to me. The majority of the flavor in cilantro, you guys, is in the stalks. Do not throw them away. Use it. So here's what I typically do. I just kind of fold it over and sort of rough chop it. Sometimes you can cook with the cilantro in there. So if you like cilantro, put it in there. By the way, I know about 10% of you have sort of this genetic thing that makes cilantro taste like soap. If that's the case, you can use some parsley. It's perfectly acceptable to do that as long as you enjoy the finished dish. All right, here's your cilantro. It's been chopped, and now you are very artistically going to put it on the shrimp, or in my case, you're going to throw it on the shrimp. I'm not so artistic, but here's what we're going to do. Let's plate up this shrimp. Now, typically, when I have this dish, if I'm eating low carb, I might do cauliflower rice. Majority of people will just do rice with it on the side. You can do naan. There's enough sauce for this to be dipped into. Okay, here's our shrimp. God, this smells so good. And you just sprinkle some of this. As a cook, there's one very important function you cannot finish, which is that you get the first taste. There's gotta be some reward for cooking, right? This is our reward. And besides, you wanna make sure that all the tastes are just right. So here's what I'm gonna do. It's really good. It's creamy, it is spicy, just like I told you. And let me tell you, it tastes just like a full-blown curry that you could have spent half an hour making. And here you are. You just made this delectable shrimp curry by yourself in less than half an hour. You should feel like a total rock star.